I think where we were blessed was we align on nearly every single value that we have.
Deeply.
Yeah, pretty
we
seriously.
We will fight for our beliefs.
Yeah.
Deeply.
Yeah, it matters to us a lot. Not only do we align on the values, the same values, but like that point where it's like we align on them to the same severity.
Same severity. And I have zero doubt and I have 100 million% trust that you would never fault on your like principles.
Routine. The HMV routine is get my paycheck from Caledon Ski Club, take my parents' minivan with Chris and drive to Stone Road Mall, go buy...
They let you drive the minivan?
Reluctantly.
Okay.
And
how old were you?
What do you mean? I had my G2.
Ah.
Yeah. And then we'd go to HMV, buy a record, and then go to Manchu Walk and get food.
No, wait, was Caledon Ski Club?
Caledon Ski Club.
Was that after Humber?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. I'm like 17 or 18 or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, this is after high school. Or like 12 plus, something like that.
12 plus?
Yeah, something like that.
You did Victory Lap?
I graduated in that year. I didn't even graduate in grade 12.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's not really, it's a victory lap if you had a victory.
I see. You had no
that
victory.
was just graduation. That was graduating year for me.
I see. Okay. I get it.
Smooth brain over here.
I used to go to Stone Road Mall with my first boyfriend. And that guy broke up with me the day after my birthday. In 20... Oh my gosh.
Did it crush you? Yeah, how old were you?
I was crying. My mom was crying with me.
That's heavy.
Yeah.
That's your world, man.
It was hard because, you know why it was hard? He consistently gave me my love language.
Oh,
I thought that was like true love. Like
right.
I felt so much love. I thought I loved him back. And for our like 1 year anniversary, like listen to this. 1 year anniversary. We went to Moxie's at Stone Road Mall.
Classic.
And it was classy because we're like...
That's true.
I was grade 11?
Yeah, so you're like, we're bougie, babe.
Yeah.
We're living.
Went to Moxie's and then he took me, and it was in January.
Yeah.
He took me to the roof of the parking garage and it was slightly snowing.
Careful what you say. I might have to fight this guy.
Yeah, no. And there was no wireless earbuds. Or if there were, they were $1 million. So there was the wired white iPhone earbuds, and we each had one ear in, and we slow danced on top of the.
That's romantic as shit.
Yeah, it was cute for grade 11, 12. Like
that's mad.
That was cute.
That's mad cute.
That was cute.
That's legit. No, okay.
So
what's his name? Where does he live?
His brother actually did a bodybuilding show, and like that was he won it. He did really well. His youngest brother.
Nice.
And so what I learned from him is that like we definitely weren't, or maybe he felt like I wasn't right for him because he broke up with me, right? But it was that someone will show me love in the way that I receive it, if they choose to do it, kind of thing. Like it's not unreasonable to like ask for your love language.
Gotcha.
Right?
Wait, how many were you a serial dater? Like, do you have a lot of boyfriends?
No,
before?
like serious boyfriends?
Yeah. 3, 4, 5.
You're number 5.
Wow.
For actual serious like I mean, it's
The other guys
relative
are not serious.
what you assume. Yeah, there was dates and stuff. but
Sure. Gotcha.
Serious was 5.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Year 3.
Too many. I'm just giving you a hard time. It's all
You
good.
are giving me a hard time.
You're like, you're
The
being
issue is
unfair to
that
me.
I married
I don't
one
care.
of them.
No, it's good.
That was the issue.
That's okay.
But
We all learn.
yeah, you do learn. You learn what
Yeah.
what
I've only had 2 before you. Two
Yeah.
serious relationships, and
yeah.
they were. I think I've been single more than I was dating, for sure, as far as like adult life. Maybe not.
No, you went on a lot of dates.
No, but that doesn't count. We're talking about like I've been in 2 committed
Oh, that's
relationships
fair.
outside of
Yeah.
you. So yeah, one was a couple years, one was a year and a half, something like that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I don't know. Tell me what you learned from yours.
I think you learn that commitment. So like obviously being committed to someone is a serious thing and it should be taken seriously. But if it's not understood on both sides, or it's not, I don't want to say like taken seriously because people can take it seriously. If you're not on the same page with your principles, in the end, it will never work. It
Like
could be
just-
like a false thing. You could be like serious lust. You could have so many similar interests. But when it comes down to like fighting for the relationship, or when it comes down to how you end up treating that person, aka like a lack of respect,
Yeah.
then like it's just never gonna work.
I feel like that's how you and I were able to go through what we went through in November and then come out of that thriving, is because I think like nobody can evade struggle in the relationship, but it's
Yeah.
like, I think where we were blessed was we align on nearly every single value that we
and
have.
deeply.
Yeah, pretty
We
seriously.
will fight for our beliefs.
Yeah.
Deeply.
Yeah, it matters to
And-
us a lot. Not only do we align on the values, the same values, but like that point where it's like we align on them to the same severity.
Same severity. And I have zero doubt and I have 100 million% trust that you would never fault on your like principles.
Compromise on my
And stuff. You never compromise. Like you would
Right.
never give in to something that goes against
Can't
what
do
you
it. Won't
believe,
do it.
right?
Yep.
Yeah, and that was, remember, how can I say this? There's an interesting thing that during, I don't want to give clout to it, but during the past couple of years, right? Do you remember that one time that they were like, oh, if they're going to come to your house and they're putting a gun to your head and something like to vaccinate your kids or something like that.
Yeah.
And then you like initially, I don't know if it was you or me or something, but initially it was like, oh yeah, like, I mean, if it's the life or death of my kids or whatever. And I was like, no, like I will die for my principles. I will die for my principles.
Right.
Like,
yeah, and I feel the same way.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
Yeah, exactly. I think it was like just being all clouded with like these people that will compromise their morals. Like if it gets bad enough.
Yeah, if it's hard enough, it'll be like,
Right?
it's just not worth it anymore.
And it's like, no, you should die on your hill.
yeah, if you're
kinda
not
thing.
willing to actually die on the hill, then it's like, how much did it mean to you in the first place?
Exactly.
Really, it's like it's easy to say and stick to your principles when it's easy, but like when it's hard, which we were tested in the last 2 years,
Yeah.
and we stood our ground. Like I didn't compromise on a single thing, and I didn't compromise
either.
even slightly.
Me either.
So, and I would never. I would do that all over again, and I would do it if it got more serious.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
100%.
So I just, from you, I learn conviction because you're a very convicted person.
Because I'm a
and-
convicted felon.
I guess that's what that means, eh?
I'm not, by the way, guys.
Yeah, no
these are
criminal
jokes.
record.
These are jokes. I'm an upstanding citizen
He is.
with
Always
speeding,
paying his
with
taxes
speeding
on time.
tickets. Lots of speeding
Lots of
tickets.
speeding tickets.
I love going fast. I
Fast,
love driving
What's
fast.
that song?
I don't even drive that fast, to be honest.
No, you
I
don't.
just drive.
You
I drive just enough over that it's worth a ticket, but I do it a lot. Do you know what I mean? But I'm not the guy who's going 160.
No, because sometimes I look and you're like not even. Remember that one time I was like so hungry, and I was like,
yeah, I was driving
"Get
like a
me
grandma.
home," and he was just like, he was just driving. He was just like looking at the houses.
I was doing what my dad does.
Oh, look! I've never seen that. Can you
Walcott
get me
does that.
home, Tim?
John does that.
I was expecting you to get me home already, and you're like, oh yeah,
Yeah, I was driving the speed limit, or maybe under.
under.
Who drives the speed limit for
Oh,
real?
man.
I was actually driving very responsibly in that moment.
Yeah, I don't. In the one moment I wanted you not to.
The thing that I've learned
Yeah.
from my relationship prior to you, the last one that I had, which was a year and a half, I think, ish, and it was between like end of 2018, if this lines up. Yeah, like start of 2019, end of 2018 till mid. Yeah, that makes sense. Till mid 2020. Yeah, just over a year and a half, I guess. Year and a half ish. So, thing I learned from that, I think looking back, I learned a lot of things. But the one that comes to mind the most, particularly when I can compare it with how you and I operate, and actually what I've had to learn with you. So I learned it from that relationship, but I didn't learn it from that relationship until I had to learn it with you, if that makes sense. So looking back, it's like her and I did not communicate our needs to each other at all. We talked a lot, but we didn't communicate our needs ever. And so looking back at like issues that we had, I like recognize those as like all just symptoms. And we had no idea at the time, you know? So like when I was feeling a certain type of way, it was because I wasn't getting my needs met, but I'm treating the symptom when I'm saying like, I didn't like this or how you did this or whatever it was. Same thing with her, with me. She was not clear on what she needed from me either. And I think that's like something that we thought we were doing in the first half of our relationship. And now we notice in the second half, we're like legitimately a lot better.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You know, it's like, because it's not actually that easy. In your head, it's like, it's super simple. Just be like, yeah, just communicate, say what you need. And you're like, oh, cool. That's all it is. It's like, well, that helps a lot. But it's not that easy. Like, go ahead and try and do it in the moment when you want to share that. And you actually find there's barriers for whatever reason sometimes to actually do that.
I like when you said, like the bike spokes. It's like the bike spokes of communication, right?
Right.
Actually communicating, having the other person listen, having a mutual understanding, having respect for each other, acting to give the person what they're communicating. Like there's so many things, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Because we thought we were doing a good job. We were just talking. We weren't communicating. We weren't listening. We were just like, oh yeah, we talk a lot about things.
Or we're missing this part where it's like, you are communicating, you are talking, you're like, this is what I need. You're like, okay, this is the recipe. But then the part that's missing is thinking if that's true. Right? So it's
the
like,
other person, you mean?
no,
Or
just
you?
thinking like, so when I'm trying to share how I feel with you, being like, hey, this is what I need. That sounds on the surface like it's like, yeah, then that's what you got to do. Nice, you're doing it. But the context that's missing that I think what was missing last time was like, is what I'm saying even true? Because it's like, we think it's true in the moment. It's like, yeah, this is what I need. But it's like, are you thinking enough? Like, are you thinking deep enough that that's even what the problem is? Like, is that what your need is? Or is it like, you're still shallow? Like you still have to go more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's like, just think about how many conversations you and I had after November, or even in the middle of November, end of October, of just like, here's my problems that I'm having with you. And like, now I don't even remember half those conversations, but I remember a lot of them were nonsense, but it felt like light bulb moments. Being like, that's the problem. These are problems I'm having. And then it's like, those were all symptoms. Those were all like symptoms of a deeper problem that like, as we kept talking about it, then it would be like, you know what? That was just a reflection of this. And then the more we did it, eventually we just got to the point where it's like, okay, here's the root issue. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, you kind of have to think a lot to get there. At least I did.
Yeah. And yes. And it's like, you know, when they say, like a relationship, if it's good, like it shouldn't be hard or whatever.
Yeah.
Not that I think ours was or is hard. I think it's just like, we put in a lot of work, and it is a lot of work. And now this work is reaping the benefits now. Like I
100%.
feel very understood by you. There's so much trust and respect. We very, very rarely now do we argue.
Right.
Very rarely.
Yep. No, we don't. We argue all the time.
Very rarely.
Yeah.
And it feels great. It feels like, wow, I really like put in a lot of effort with someone that I knew I loved. To now have this connection and relationship with that, this relationship that we have can last a lifetime.
Yeah, 100%.
100%.
100%. What's something that you can think of, either like big or small, but something that you can think of that you have learned, from experiencing your ex?
That you can't keep like giving someone. I remember saying to myself, this sounds so bad, but I'm sure a lot of people can relate. If he does that one more time, I'm leaving. If he does that one more time, I'm leaving. If he does that one more time, I'm leaving. I must have said that to myself 100 times.
Yeah.
He always did it one more time.
Right.
And I didn't leave. And I should have, because there's just something that, like, you just shouldn't be treated like that. I don't care if you gave vows to that person. Like, he had zero respect for me, and treated me quite poorly. And so I just wish that I didn't have like a savior complex for him. And I wish I put like myself kind of first in that situation and realize that I was trying to fix the whole relationship.
Oh, gotcha.
It was all one-sided.
Okay.
Right? He had issues that he should have dealt with. Like, he had his own personal issues. So I was trying to fix our relationship, fix his issues, deal with my issues. And it was just like, one person can't do that. Right?
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
I can't fix him. So I should have kind of just realized like that, or I should have like pushed him more to get help, but then he wasn't willing to, so it wouldn't have worked unless that person's
not
willing to
go for it. Yeah.
So it's just like, I just wish that, and I wish I had more people that maybe told me, sorry, Paula Slater, she's gonna be like, oh, maybe friends wise that were like, hey, maybe you shouldn't like marry that guy.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
But it seemed fine at the time. You know, it's like, hey, maybe you guys should like not. I don't know.
Well, that's a weird thing though, because like maybe they don't even recognize that.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Because even like I look back and I'm like I was dating to marry. So it's like I was hoping to marry this woman, and like that was going to be the plan. Like we talked about it a lot. That was the plan. No, and it wasn't going to be that long, right? Like I was going to marry her relatively soon. We weren't engaged, but like I was going to marry her. And now looking back, I'm like, wow, I feel like there's a lot of things looking back that like, maybe they were red flags, but maybe they were all too small. You know what I mean? For people to be like, wow, that's an obvious one. What are you doing? Or even me to think about it. Obviously you have love goggles or the person in it. It's always harder to see, but even people outside of it, like, yeah, I don't know. I think some of my close friends had some minor issues with her, but I don't know if it was enough.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if it was enough to be like, yeah, like he shouldn't do that. It was more just like, oh, if Tim loves her, that's great, you know?
Like hindsight's a thing.
That's what I mean. It seems so clear now.
Because you get the full picture and you're out of it. You're like fully removed and you're like, that was not good.
Going back to what we were saying before though too, with the value thing, it's like, that's definitely something that I've learned is like that wasn't something that I was screening for with my ex.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was just something where it's like, oh, this is too bad that we don't align on this. I guess we'll agree to disagree. And it's like, no, some things are deal breakers.
Yeah.
It's like, and I'm going to be convicted in that. It's like, I don't want you to be the mother of my children if we don't agree on this, and this.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, and that's the red flag. That's the deal breaker. That should be the deal breaker. And it wasn't in that case.
And you know what else that is important for us?
Yeah.
Traditional gender roles.
Right.
100%.
Yeah.
Because I felt like I didn't feel like in my past relationship, like feminine. I didn't feel protected. I felt like the mother.
Right.
And I couldn't even comprehend having kids with him because I was like, I'm going to have to take care of him and the kids. Like,
right.
I'm going to have no help. There's no man here. Right.
Yep.
And now it's like, oh, I have a partner who will provide, will protect, will be a great dad and co-parent. Like now it's a whole different ball game.
Right.
Right. So, and then I'm free to be womanly, be motherly, be caring, all the qualities that, you know, a woman, in my opinion, traditionally should have.
Right.
So I think that's important. I think that's something that we did kind of struggle with a little bit, but then we realized like we have to give each other the environment to have those roles.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. Right. That was something we definitely
we struggled with and of course, rightly so. I'm in a very masculine sport.
Right.
And not even because bikini chicks are quite feminine. It's like I'm in a masculine division of the sport.
Yeah.
And that's fine, but it's like I don't feel masculine. I feel like a woman. I love being a woman. I feel like pretty. I did my hair today. Like I like my
a good point, though,
sparkly
right?
ring. You know, I get my nails done. Like, so it's yeah.
We talked about, I don't know if we touched on that on the prior episode when we talked about our relationship, but that was like a huge aspect of things that we had to talk about and deal with was like, we need to put each other in situations. That's not the right way. We need to treat the other person, which puts them in a state.
Yes.
Where they can feel how they want to feel.
Yes.
Right. It's like, which is interesting. So here's kind of how it like, if I can like draw the picture, here's how it kind of happens is like, I wasn't treating you the way you wanted to be treated, which then made you act in a way that I didn't want you to act.
Yes.
Right. And then it created this feedback loop where then I wasn't like, oh, I don't like the way she acts. So then I further pulled back and didn't treated you even less like how you wanted to be treated. And then I'm getting that output again from you that I didn't like and just kept going and vice versa or whatever. Right. So it's like, if I can treat you in a certain way where you are like, ooh, he makes me feel so feminine and whatever, then you're more likely to behave in a way that I'm like, oh, I like this. This is attractive to me. And then I'm more likely to behave back to you in a way and treat you the way, you know what I mean? And then that creates its own momentum, positive momentum. You know what I'm saying?
Science.
It's science.
It's the science of love.
The science of love. But yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I do. And hopefully our audience does too.
But let us know what you think. Comment below. Yeah. And also, whether you're listening or watching, just take this link, go share on your Instagram story if you're an Instagram person, put it on your Facebook, whatever, and then tag us at Stay Peaked or at Tim_MSHC at Slays Fit. At Stays Fit.
No.
At Slays Peaked.
Slays Peaked. Slays Fit.
Them all together. But yeah, thanks a lot for listening. We'll have a lot more of these. Love you guys.
Stay Peaked.